Hey guys, welcome to Bushcraft and Wild Edibles Homesteading, and today we're going to talk about preparation for 2018, almost said 2017, 2018 garden. So why would we be talking already? Well, there's a lot of planning, a lot of prep work that goes into gardening, and if we can make it as easy as possible, it's fun for everybody, and that's the idea. So today I'm going to talk about how we prep for our garden, so stick around. Alright guys, so today we're going to talk about the preparation for gardens. And first off and for the foremost, I want to thank each and every one of my subscribers and everybody that watches my videos. Please share, like, and subscribe because it helps out our channel and it tells me what videos you guys like to watch. So today we're going to go into a little bit of detail on how to plant a garden and what kind of software that I use, what kind of planning goes into it, and what we're going to be planting and how we're going to be planting. At the end of this video, guys, I'm going to show you some of the software that I use, some of the web pages that I go to get me to know when to plant my seeds and when to start the germination process and all that work. So we're going to show you all those different websites at the end of this. So watch it all the way through. First and foremost, number one thing that I want to do is, what do we want in our garden? That's the number one question that everybody has, is what do you want? What kind of plants are you going to be planting? Are they heirloom, or are they just regular hybrids? The heirloom seeds are seeds that you can harvest after you're done with your produce. You can dry them out and then you can put them away and you can regrow them next year. A hybrid takes two of the heirlooms, puts it together to get one specific fruit. The problem is that when you dry that out, you might get this one or you might get this one. You don't know. So the best way to do it, guys, if you want to save your seeds for the following year, is to buy the heirloom. All right, so the other things that I want to talk about is back to Eden gardening. This year, we are going to be totally going with that route, and from then on, there's so many benefits to the Back to Eden process that it's a no-brainer for me. If you look how a woods works, the needles in the trees, they drop down, they make layers, and in that layers you have some of the most rich and valuable moisture. There's moisture, there's the nutrients, there's the minerals in that layer. It's all done naturally. That's the same concept as Back to Eden Garden. For the first couple years, yes, you're going to have some. All right, guys, so the woods process, let's go back to this. You have your pine needles, you have leaves, you have broken branches. They all fall. God created the leaves when all the nutrients are taken away from the leaf and it brought back into the plant. It turns brown, falls to the ground, creating compost. There's those layers again. We see it in the woods day to day. If you're in there a lot, you see it all the time, and that soil is so rich. That's exactly what the Back to Eden Garden does. For those people that have been busting their butt, including myself for years, rototilling, breaking my back, breaking rototillers, having no fun whatsoever, that's what rototilling is all about. That's what gardening is about. The Back to Eden Garden is taking all that extra work out of there. But there is some preparation work and there's hard work to get to that point, and I'm not going to lie. You have to, with the wood chips, the composting, and it's in layers. But sooner or later, each year that you put that layer on or you build that area up, it's going to get better and better. It retains moisture. It is weed control. Your vegetables are full of minerals, and in this time and age, we are so short on that because our food is so high produced, GMOs, fertilizers, pesticides, all that other stuff. It's killing us when we eat that. Everybody says, well, vegetables are so good. Well, if there's no minerals in there. So how can it be any benefit to us? Why are we getting heavier when we go and we eat a salad or we eat a vegetable? We don't feel full. Why is that? Because that mineral content, that nutrients that's in that vegetable is gone. That's the best part of when you grow your own food. It's there. You can go and go in the garden, make yourself a salad, come in the house, clean it up, wash it up, throw it together, and you're full. You're good. That's the idea of it. And that's where we're going to get to is we want to have a vibrant garden. We want to have the produce that comes with it. And we want to be able to have a good product. We want that vegetable to be full of flavor. We want it to be full of the vitamins and minerals that we need. That's why I'm doing this. So, how do we go about doing that? First of all, you got to have a plan. So, what are you going to do? Well, we know we're going to have the back eating garden. I use my chicken and my chicken run to make me compost year round. It has the wood chips in there. They're starting to break down that process. So that layer process is going to be there. That's being part of it. Secondly, they create compost for me. They take and chew it all up. Everything that's in there, they're constantly turning it, making that nice, rich, fertile black soil all winter long. So we have that portion of it. Okay, we have the area. So we have one garden that's 120 feet long by 33 feet wide. And then we have the back to Eden garden, which is raised beds, wood chips, and some other stuff. And I'm going to show you those today. So the planning. First things that we need to do is we need to figure out, get yourself a notebook, it does wonders. The first thing that what you want to know is my last frost and my first frost. They're very important. Your first frost, it tells you when your season is going to end. Your last frost it tells you when you can put your plants out. When they're and it's an average. You guys, you can just go into Google, type in your city and state, and just say my last frost, and that tells you. Now you can take your seed packets. On every seed packet, it tells you how many weeks you need to start that indoors if you're going to do that, or your germination period, and when they become able to grow fruit. So my first way of doing things is we put stuff on paper. This is a drawing that I have of my garden. These are the vegetables that we do every single year. They're in there. We can't mess around with a horseradish, and I'm going to show you what we did different with the corn, but the corn is in here too. So we have onions, carrots, peppers, tomatoes, spinach, cabbage, muskmelon, cucumbers, radishes, squash, zucchini, cauliflower, beets, kale, cherry tomatoes, corn, and jalapeno peppers with garden salsa peppers. That's what we put in every single year. That's what we like. Problems that we had last year was field mice. They just devastated our cucumbers, our squash, our tomatoes, anything that they could get their hands on. So I think I have a fix for that, and we'll go through that later on in this video, and you guys can give me a comment on what you think. So there's what we have. So now the second step that I look at is, when is my last frost date? In northern Wisconsin, my last frost date is May 24th. I start my plants 6 to 8 weeks before my last frost. I have them color-coded for the ones that take longer, then less, and the ones that I can direct sow. So I have 6 to 8, 4 to 5, and direct sow. So my tomatoes, peppers, basil, parsley, and celery, I'll be starting 6 to 8 weeks earlier, from May 24th. My cabbage, spinach, cucumber, squash, muskmelon, and that variety of stuff, I'll be starting 4 to 5 weeks before my last frost. Direct sow obviously is going to be more of your root vegetables, and those can go right into the ground. That's beets, carrots, and radishes. As soon as you're able to plant stuff in the ground, those things can be direct sown. Now, corn and beans, they're direct sown, and the temperature of the soil has to be above 50 degrees. I made a huge mistake last year, planted my seeds correctly. It rained and flooded the whole area, and then it got cold. The seeds went dormant. We waited for a couple, that was, I want to say a week or two, nothing was happening. We went and turned around and replanted. When we did that, we saw some seeds that had mold in there already because they got waterlogged. The other stuff that was coming on. So we reseeded it all. Plants started coming up. Well, my mistake, the other plants that I planted prior to that also started to come up. So we had a huge mess. They had beans that were hanging over, and we do pole beans. There were these big globs hanging over where you had to actually pull the whole plant up. We were tearing leaves off. It was a big mess. So we got a plan for that this year. So this is really important, guys. Put your beans in your direct sow. So if it's for me in northern Wisconsin, is usually over May 24th weekend. If my soil temp isn't at 50 degrees or above when I plant my other stuff, I'll wait. Beans, corn, they shoot up quick. They grow fast. They like the heat. Sometimes they don't even get in until after sometime in June. So now that we know when our last frost date is, we know when our first frost is. In Wisconsin here where I live, I only have a 119-day growing season, which isn't a whole lot. So we actually try to give our plants a boost before we go out and plant them, so that we have an early harvest time, so that we're picking in July, August, because September, believe it or not, guys, September 17th is what their Google's telling me for my first frost. That ain't a whole lot of time. So a lot of our plants are going to be growing inside. I'll have some videos on that, guys, of how we set up the grow room, the germination process, and then how the plants do, the equipment that I use. It will go from there. Then it goes out to go into the greenhouse for acclimation with the sun and out there when it's warm enough and I feel that it's a safe environment. And then from there they go to the garden. So this is how I plan it all out. After I get this all done, we sit through and we use young seeds. Get a catalog every year. I've been going through them for years. So we go through, pick our seeds out, and we put them on a big list. You can go on their website here, and it's really simple. Oh, before I get that far, let's back up a little bit here. The color coded that you see on here, you see that I have them in yellow, orange, and green. That's because on my calendar, I have it set. So we're going to start to sow the tomatoes and stuff on the 31st. We figured out that the 19th wasn't going to give us a long enough growing season. So we backed it up. And then for the other ones, which would be the 4 to 5 weeks, we're starting on May 3rd. And then we have our last frost date, and we have our direct sow. So everything is on a calendar, so it tells me right away, okay, we need to start these plants. We need to get things rolling. A very good idea. And you walk by the calendar every day. Ours is hanging up in the kitchen. So it's a visual thing for us. We know what we need to get doing. So that's how I set that up. Now, you can use youngs. There's gurneys. We actually just found a website here today, rareseeds.com from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. Next year, we're going to try to go with more of the heirloom seeds so that we're not continuously buying seeds year after year. Dry them out, you reuse them. But Young's has been very good, so that's what we're using now. So you can go in here, pick out what you want. You get a tomato, click on it, buy. Very friendly site to use. So now that you have all your seeds ordered, okay, we have a list here, very long list of seeds that we're going to be growing. Because we're not only growing for ourselves, we're also going to be selling produce. So we want to make the best room that we have. We want to make the garden produce a lot. We want good vegetables so that we can sell our product and people continuously come for that. So I have a couple different ways of doing that. So now that I have my seeds all picked out, I got everything ordered, it's on its way. Now I need to do some planning. how am I going to put all that vegetables and how am I going to get that to work out and where is everything going to go? There is actually a very good website here, guys. It's called Seed Money Garden Planner. There is a free portion to this, or you can create an account and annually you pay $30 a year to design your garden and do whatever you want. Very simple and very easy, user friendly. So right here I got my Back to Eden garden for 2018 and my main garden. So let's open this one up. And now you can see our main garden. The dimensions, the spacing, it does it all for you. And so you saw in the picture the corn was right here. Well, this program told us it wasn't feasible to do that. And it would be better to put it over here. And when Dawn was looking at this, she's thinking, well, these are bigger. Let's put this to the back so we can forget about it and worry about it later on. And then we have our behemoth cabbage here. They're 26-pound heads. And then we have the normal heads. We have bush beans, all pepper plants. We have squash. We have the melon. We have more. This would be the hot pepper plants. We have cauliflower. But what I want to show you guys, and then we have onions. We have the horseradish that you saw, the onions here. We have carrots, we have beets, and then I'm going to zoom in over here. So we have carrots, we have beets, we have spinach, and radishes. And you're not seeing lines, guys. This isn't actually lines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a trellis concept. I'm going to allow the cucumbers and tomatoes and the pole beans to grow up on ropes. I'm going to let them wrap around and grow naturally. For one, to try to keep out my pesky mice that are field mice that are going there and just eating out my garden. I figure if they're growing up, they're not going to get them all. All my interdeterminate plants that I have are going to be the ones that continuously grow. My tomatoes, my pickles aren't, but I looked on there. And it says they grow 6, 7, 8 foot long vines, and it also says climbers. It also says great for greenhouses. If you want to do this kind of style, that's what you're looking for. And we're also going to do it here. Well, what's cool with this program is it's telling me that, for instance, here I've got 5 plants of tomatoes. So you got 5, 10, 15 plants. If you would do that traditionally, that's a huge amount of space in your garden. But now I can run them straight up. Carrots over here, it's telling me that I got 182 plants in there and that the square footage of it is 4'10" by 4'6". So this program is really set up to get the most out of your garden, the most that you got for your space. It puts the correct spacing, it does it all for you, and it really is a great thing to have. So let's go and let's open up the Back to Eden. So on this one, you see we got the rock path. This is the only one here that is going to be new because we're going to be putting a peach tree in the center of it and we're going to have our blueberries. So this portion of the bed, I'm going to be building this here, but the rest of them are already here. And this also is going to be of a companion planting, and we're going to be doing a lot more of different plants in there. So in this one big box here, this one here is nasturtiums. Nasturtiums are good because they're edible, for number one. And my theory is why grow a plant that I can't eat? But they're also good to keep pests and bugs away from your plants. So we have that. We have kale. We have lavender, which is another good one to keep pests away. We're going to have some pepper plants. We're going to be doing a lot of multitasking, different vegetables in there. And we're also going to have the boys help us do this. As you've seen, Hunter really likes to do this kind of stuff, so he's really ready to go. And it's only January. The peach trees, This is all going to be carrots, and it's going to have a dome over it. We're going to make a hoop house so that I can start it earlier, so I get the most potential out of there. Same thing with the lettuce, spinach, the chard are going to do the same thing. Same thing with my basil, oregano, all the things like that. These are all going to have covers, hoop houses over the top of the boxes. And we'll show you how we're going to do that. Really simple. And it's going to extend my spring out there so that I can get into a zone 6, 7 instead of being in the zone 4. So it's really going to help us out. Great tool to have, guys, to plan your garden. You can see what's going to be there. You're going to see how it works out. Very interesting and very good. So now the second thing is that I want to talk about is you can go to Johnny Seed Select. And Johnny Seed Select has exactly the time to put in to start to sow your plants. So if we're looking here, let's go to tomatoes. This is where I got my numbers for on my calendar and to tell me what I needed to plant. So cucumbers here, it's telling me that I should start them May 3rd. So if I go back to my calendar on here, and if I look at what it says, May 3rd, that's where I learned when to start my seeds. That's 4 to 5 weeks out. So this is a very good website to go to, guys. It is the, once again, it's Johnny Select Seeds. And you put in here your last frost date, and it gives you all this information. Very good website. It's user friendly, so that's another one that I go to find out the information. And then the last one that I need to do is I need to know my soil temperatures for germination. And if you're growing in a house, or like I'm going to be, I was kind of shocked to find out that if I have my room at 67, my grow room at 67 degrees, my soil temperature could be 20 degrees different. Could be below that. I'm not going to have that germination that I want, so I'm going to be using heat pads. But you can go here and just type in Google. It's a PDF file, and it's soil temperature conditions for vegetable seed germination. And if you look at here, tomatoes, 60 to 85 degrees is optimal range. Optimum right here on tomatoes is 85. Maximum is 90. So if you're in that 75, 85, that's your germination. That's that little part on the seed packet that says 4 to 10 days. That's perfect conditions. When you have the right moisture content, you have the right temperature content, that seed, you should see something in 4 to 10 days, or in tomatoes at 7 to 10 days. With heat pads and the lights and how we're going to set that up, we're going to be able to achieve that. So like I said, if you're spending that money for that plant and you're going out and putting that effort in there, don't set yourself up for failure. Be able to do it at the best ability. So we want everything in our favor, and that's what we're going to be doing this year. So this is another really good website to use, guys. You have the soil temperature conditions to help you to germinate your seeds if you choose to do it that way, or if you're going out and buying your seeds. And then after the germination process, and we let this plant stay up, they go in the first one for 5 weeks. Then they need to be transplanted into a bigger container. We will be going through all of this, and later on, once we get to this, the germination stage, I'll be going through step by step of the process from how we start the seed to actually gets into the garden. So don't worry about it. You'll see it individual steps. You're going to see the pruning for the tomatoes and the peppers to get you that big bushy pepper plant that you want, so that you get the most out of your vegetables. Same thing with the tomatoes. We're going to show you with the vines how you can set that up and get 6, 7, 8 foot tomato plants, and just loaded with tomatoes that you can reach, and with enough spacing and the right air movement and the sun to get the best and the most vegetable out of what you're doing. So now that I have everything planned out, guys, and I have it pretty much set up, now I just sit and wait. Wait for my seeds. I can start to set up the grow room. and we're only in January. So we can continuously get a little heads up on the planting season so that in the springtime when it comes, we're not running around and what do I do first? I have all this stuff I need to get done. It's all set in place for you so it becomes fun, because that's the main goal of gardening, is that you want it to be fun, not work. I like to work, I'm a workaholic, but I also want my kids to be a part of it, and I want Dawn to be a part of it. And the only way that I can get that is if it's fun. And gardening is a great way to have the whole family go out there and be a part of something, see it actually grow, have the kids put the seed in there, they watch the plant up. It gets them going and gets their brain, because guys, I'm going to tell you, our kids learn from watching us. They see what we do and they want to do that. And that's a great way to get things going. So I hope I wasn't too much of a blabbermouth, guys. I hope that this was educational for you. There's going to be a lot more videos involved in this, and we're going to go through and go step by step like I said. If you guys got any comments or want the links to this, just leave me a message. I'll get you the links for it. And it's really simple. I use the Johnny Select Seed right here. And then the other one is Soil Test Conditions. That's pretty much the only things I use besides the seed, the seed planter. And the seed planter is seedmoneygardenplanner.org. Very good website. So I hope this was educational, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this. Please share, like, and subscribe. It does help out our channel tremendously. And it lets me know if you liked the video or if you didn't. So you guys can actually see what you want. And if you guys want me to do something different, let me know. So you guys all take care. God bless. And we'll see you on the next one.